2018 Raivous update. I've gone through and Raivous this a second time. I actually did it about 6 weeks ago. It's the same spot that I showed that I did, I think, in about 2015. It got pretty thick, but the trees that I had released at that time were quite a bit taller than everything else, so it was real easy to determine what I was going to leave, but I had to take some of those out because they were starting to crowd each other. But these oak are doing so well. And then there was as much birch as we wanted, but I favored the oak and took out birch when they were competing with each other, because birch is more valuable and it's a longer lived species and it's got a better chance of surviving in a warming climate. Nonetheless, I did leave some really nice birch, and let's hope that they can live long enough to be saw timber. And then I left what mature trees there were, just to have some structure. I like it.
Where'd it go?
After the wind blew through here in 2012, we got quite a bit of oak and birch, and now some red pine. But I experimented with a Raivous treatment, which is the Finnish term for an early treatment of picking out your future crop trees and giving them plenty of room to grow with good spacing. But I also left some big trees like this bur oak, and then these legacy maple, red maples, and that bur oak. So we've got some good structure here, amazing composition, really good productivity, quality, health. This is a good little resilience project, made all the more special by discovering the black cherry that's come in. Here's another one I just found and bud capped. It had already been chewed by the deer, but there's a really good bud, epicormic bud right there. So I'll try to protect that through that fashion of bud capping. And then I took another good branch and I stapled the leaves into it to try to hold it in place as long as possible. Kind of given up on the oak bud capping, but we'll see how it works on the cherry, because the deer sure like it. And there's a red pine bud cap. Yeah, all of this is natural. None of it was planted. 2021. This has been Raivous 3 times. Got oak. Obviously these trees have been pruned also. There was a nice maple here, but that didn't make it. It snapped off. Another nice oak. There was a beautiful elm there, but I decided to favor the oak instead. They were crowding each other, so the oak stayed and the elm went. And then a whole bunch of oak behind. Getting pretty tall, really well formed. And then look at this birch. Pruned up. Oh, a good 8 feet anyway. We've added to the team. That's Thor, the dog of thunder. Birch, bur oak, birch, couple of bur oak, red oak behind. Everything's pruned. Still have hard maple and bur oak and a red maple. Mature trees. They're doing pretty well. And black cherry. Native Itasca County, northern Minnesota black cherry. The biggest one is here. The maple doesn't like to be handled quite as aggressively, but this one's doing okay. The biggest cherry was back there. It was about 4 inches, but the darn beaver got it. And here's a cherry stump sprout. This was the biggest cherry. Pretty good sized stump. That blew down in the wind of 2012 that started this whole process. Anyway, they sprout vigorously. It's been actually Raivous treated 3 times now. I'd say 2014, 2016, and then again in 2020. Oh yeah, there's a spruce back there. I took all the balsam out. There's no white pine in here. We got plenty of white pine everywhere else. We don't need white pine here. Red pine, just about above brow stage. There's another smaller red pine that we've bud capped. There's a younger cherry that we've been bud capping. Red pine. White spruce. And then finally another black cherry. And if you doubt me about the black cherry, witness the orange fuzz mid-ribe. That is black cherry. Over and out.